The space station floated in silence above a dead moon. Ships from different species came and went carrying traders, engineers, and travelers. Inside the station, life moved fast, except for one corner. There, near the old garden dome, sat a girl no one talked to. She was not like the others. Her skin gave off a soft, pale light like moonlight trapped in water. Her eyes were large and strange, and her hair seemed to flow without wind. She wore a thin white cloak, and she never smiled. Most people avoided her. Some said she was cursed. Others whispered that strange things happened when she got upset. Systems glitching, lights flickering, machines freezing. No one wanted trouble, so they stayed away. Leo was a human technician, new to the station. He came from Earth, quiet and curious, and spent most of his time fixing broken panels or reprogramming old robots. He had heard the rumors about the strange girl, but he didn't believe in curses. He believed in systems, signals, and science. One day, while repairing a broken food dispenser near the dome, he noticed her. She was sitting on the same bench, hands folded in her lap, looking up at the stars through the glass ceiling. She looked so alone. For a moment, Leo just watched. Then he spoke. "Hey," he said, not too loud. "You come here often?" The girl didn't answer. She didn't even look at him. Leo shrugged and went back to work. The next day, he passed by again. She was still there in the same spot. He gave a small wave. No response. The third day, he brought a wrapped energy bar from the food court. "Thought you might be hungry," he said, placing it gently on the bench beside her. The girl looked down at it, then slowly looked up at him. Her eyes were a mix of blue and silver, deep like the ocean. She didn't speak. She just nodded once, very slowly. That was the first time she had acknowledged him. From then on, Leo kept coming back. He didn't ask questions. He just sat nearby, sometimes talking about small things, work problems, Earth weather, space traffic. She listened, but said nothing. One day, after he fixed a power relay in the dome, Leo sat beside her again. He was tired, his hands covered in grease. "You know," he said, breathing out. "I've never met someone who can sit so still. It's like you're part of the stars." She finally spoke. "I listen," she said, her voice soft and clear. "The stars speak, no one else hears them." Leo blinked. "You hear stars?" "They remember," she said. "I remember too." That was all she said that day. Leo didn't press her, but something changed after that. She began to greet him with a small nod. Once she even handed him a star-shaped crystal she had been holding. It was warm, like it held energy inside. He asked her name. She hesitated before answering. "Aria." "Aria," Leo repeated. "That's a nice name." A faint glow touched her cheeks, like a blush if that was even possible for her kind. From that moment, the space between them didn't feel so cold anymore. And though the rest of the station still whispered, Leo knew. Something about this. Quiet Girl wasn't scary, it was special, and he was going to find out what her secret really was. After that first conversation, Leo couldn't stop thinking about her. Aria. The name stayed in his mind like a song he couldn't forget. She came to the same spot every day, always quiet, always watching the stars. But now when Leo sat down, beside her she no longer looked away. She listened, nodded sometimes, and even answered small questions, though never with more than a few words. Leo noticed strange things about her. When she was calm, the plants in the dome seemed to sway, even without wind. When she was sad, the lights around her dimmed. And when she laughed once, only once, his wrist communicator sparked and glitched for 10 full seconds. He didn't tell anyone. The others would panic. They were already scared of her. Instead, Leo became more curious. One day, while walking with her around the dome, he asked gently, "Where are you from, Aria? I mean, not your last stop, but your real home." She didn't answer right away. Then, she pointed to a small star cluster in the sky. barely visible through the station's glass ceiling. "That place," she said. "The Nebula of Voices." Leo had heard the name before, but only in old reports. It wasn't a real location, more like a myth. Pilots spoke about it like a ghost story. Ships disappearing, machines going silent, stars vanishing. He frowned. "I thought that was just a legend." Arya shook her head. "It's real. That's where I came from. But I was not born there." Leo was confused. "Then, how did you get here?" She looked down at her hands. "I woke up inside a metal cradle. Floating. Alone." That gave Leo chills. He imagined a child, drifting in space with no one and nothing. He wanted to ask more, but Arya turned her face away. "They said I was dangerous," she whispered. "I don't want to be." Leo's voice softened. "I don't think you are." She didn't reply. But for the first time, she stood beside him. Not far, not close, but near enough that her light touched his hand. It felt warm, like gentle sun through a window. Later that evening, Leo checked the records on the Nebula of Voices. What he found shocked him. Years ago, a deep space research vessel had gone missing near that region. The last signal they sent was a distorted message. "We have found her. She is not what we expected." After that silence, the ship was never found. The same night, Leo brought the information to Arya. He showed her the message. Her eyes widened. She placed her fingers on the screen, and for a moment the text glowed. "I remember that voice," she said softly. "You were on that ship?" "No," she said. "But they found me, and they didn't return." A cold thought passed through Leo's mind. "Arya, what are you?" She looked up at him, her expression full of sadness but also something deeper. "I don't know," she answered, "but I feel everything. I see time moving, like water. I carry something inside me, something ancient." Leo didn't speak. He didn't know what to say, but he knew one thing. He couldn't leave her alone. Now, Arya wasn't just some strange alien girl. She was something more, something connected to the stars, the past, and maybe the truth that others were too afraid to find. And Leo was ready to help her discover it. A few days had passed since Arya spoke about the Nebula of Voices. Leo kept thinking about her words. "I carry something inside me, something ancient." Those words stayed with him like an echo. Late one night, Leo sat alone in the station's comms room. He had quietly downloaded the final signal logs from the missing research ship, the Veritas. The message was short, just static and broken words. "She, light inside, too late, it's awake." It gave Leo chills. He stared at the screen, heart heavy with questions. The next morning he met Arya near the garden dome. She stood quietly, looking at a new flower that had bloomed, one that wasn't there yesterday. Leo had never seen anything like it. Its petals shimmered like stardust. "You made that happen?" he asked. Arya turned to him. "I don't mean to, but when I remember, things grow." Leo blinked. "What do you mean, when you remember?" Arya touched the flower gently. "I don't have normal memories, they come like waves. Sometimes I see stars being born. Sometimes I feel planets dying. They're not mine, but they live inside me." Leo looked around. No one else was near. "You said you weren't born. So how were you made?" Arya hesitated. Her voice became softer. "I think I'm a vessel." Leo tilted his head. "A vessel? For what?" She looked up at the stars beyond. The glass. Memories. From long ago. "I don't understand them all, but they're alive inside me. Songs, images, voices. They all speak to me." Leo's voice was quiet. "That's why they feared you." Arya nodded. "They called me a threat, said I was a mistake, but I never wanted to hurt anyone." Leo shook his head. "I believe you, and I think maybe you were meant to be found." Arya blinked, surprised. Why would someone make me? Maybe to protect something, he said, or to pass on a message. Before Arya could reply, the lights in the garden flickered. Then again. A cold wind moved through the air even though the climate system was stable. A low hum started in the distance. Arya stepped back, eyes wide. No, not yet. It's too soon. Leo tensed. What's happening? She placed a hand over her chest. A signal, I feel it. Something is searching, and now it knows where I am. Suddenly a warning flashed across Leo's comlink. Unidentified energy spiked near the core systems. He grabbed Arya's hand. We need to go. Now. They ran through the empty hallways. Every few steps, lights popped and panels sparked. As they reached a small maintenance room, Arya collapsed to her knees. It's inside my head, she whispered. They're calling to me. Leo knelt beside her. Who? She looked up, eyes glowing faintly. The ones who made me. Or maybe, the ones who want to silence me. I don't know which. Leo held her shoulders. I won't let them take you. Whatever you are, you're not alone anymore. Arya looked at him, her eyes full of fear and trust. In that moment, something shifted. The humming stopped. The lights returned to normal, but Leo knew this was just the beginning. Someone or something out there had just found her, and they were coming. Everything on the station seemed normal the next morning. Ships docked, lights flickered on, and people walked through the halls as if nothing had happened. But Leo knew better. Arya stayed hidden in the old maintenance tunnel below the garden dome. Leo brought her food and supplies, checking on her between work hours. She looked weaker than before. Her glow had faded slightly. They're searching, she said in a low voice. I can feel them closer now. Leo frowned. The signal? It stopped yesterday. She shook her head. That was only the first wave. There will be more. Leo checked his portable scanner. No unusual signals, no power surges. Nothing strange. Still, he trusted her. Later that night, the warning came. The entire station shook, not from an attack, but from something deeper. A pulse of unknown energy spread through the walls. Lights exploded, screens turned black. Gravity flickered for a moment, and then everything stopped. Darkness. Silence. Only emergency red lights glowed in the halls. Leo ran to the nearest control terminal. No response. Systems were down. His comlink beeped weakly with one last message. Core systems offline. Unknown interference. Evacuate if possible. He rushed to the tunnel entrance, opened the hidden panel, and climbed down. Arya was standing. In the middle of the narrow space, her eyes glowing brighter than ever. Her body seemed surrounded by faint light waves like heat above fire. Leo, she whispered, they've touched the system. They're looking through me. Can they control you? He asked, scared. She closed her eyes. No. But they're using my connection, like a bridge. Leo knew the station wouldn't survive another pulse like this. They had to leave. We need to get off this place, he said. Now. I don't know where to go, she replied. I'll find somewhere. But you have to come with me. She looked at him silent for a few seconds. Then slowly she nodded. Leo helped her move through the maintenance tunnels. They reached a storage hangar at the back of the station. Most of the small ships were locked, but Leo had access to one old scout vessel, used only for station repairs. As he powered it up, Arya touched the console. Lights flickered, but instead of failing, they stabilized. She's listening, Arya said. Leo blinked. Who's listening? Arya gently placed her hand on the ship's controls. This ship. She remembers me. She's old. From a time before your people ever arrived here. The engines powered up fully. Leo stared at her. You can talk to machines? Some of them, she said softly. The ones made from memory stones. The same material inside me. Leo didn't ask more. They had to move. Within minutes, The ship left the dock and slipped into deep space. As they escaped, the station, another pulse hit. This time it didn't reach them. From the window they saw the station flicker one last time, then power down completely. No explosion, no fire, just silence. Arya sat beside Leo, holding her knees to her chest. "They won't stop," she whispered. "They want me, not because I'm dangerous, but because I remember what they erased." Leo turned to her. "Then we'll make sure they don't erase you too." She looked at him, this time not with fear, but with quiet hope. And for the first time, the lonely alien girl wasn't running alone anymore. The scout ship moved quietly through deep space. Its engines were small but silent, perfect for staying hidden. Inside the cockpit, Leo checked the systems while Arya sat nearby, watching the stars. She looked tired but calm. "Where do we go, now?" she asked softly. Leo leaned back in his seat. "There's a place called Relo 7. It's a repair station, mostly abandoned. I worked there once. We can hide, at least for a while." Arya nodded. "I trust you." Those 3 words meant more to Leo than she knew. As they traveled, Leo called a friend, Toma, an old tech analyst who worked in deep communication signals. He trusted Toma to keep secrets. "Toma," Leo said through the screen, "I need help. Something's chasing us. And it's not just military." Toma frowned. "I heard the blackout on your station. Rumors say it wasn't a power failure. What did you find?" Leo turned the screen toward Arya, who sat quietly in the background. "Not what, who?" Toma's eyes widened. "She's the signal?" "No. She's the reason it started. They're after her." Toma became serious. "Send me her readings. Maybe I can trace who's looking for her." Leo hesitated. Arya gave a small nod. "It's okay," she said. "If he can help." Toma began scanning the data. Minutes later, his face turned pale. "This code, it's ancient, thousands of years old. It belongs to a class of beings that aren't even listed anymore. Not wiped out. Erased. Purposely." Leo leaned forward. "What do you mean erased?" Toma explained. "Some species were removed from all records after the Great Collapse. No one knows who did it or why. But whoever's looking for her, they don't want her alive. They want silence." Arya whispered. "I carry their memories, the ones they tried to destroy." Leo's chest tightened. "Then we can't let them find her," Toma warned him. "You won't be safe. If they erased whole civilizations, one small ship won't stop them." "I don't need to stop them," Leo said. "Just keep her safe." Later, they reached the edge of Relo 7. The station was dark, floating near a dying star. No signals, no ships, just metal silence. They docked carefully and slipped inside the empty halls. Leo checked the systems. Power was weak but working. It was good enough for now. While Arya rested, Leo sat alone in the control room, thinking. Everything had changed. A few weeks ago, he was just fixing food machines and worn-out lights. Now, he was protecting someone who held the last memories of forgotten stars. Suddenly, a warning beeped on the console. Incoming message, unmarked, no source. It said one line, "Return the vessel or face full erasure." Leo stared at it. His hands shook. He looked toward Arya sleeping in the next room. She wasn't a weapon. She wasn't a danger. She was a living key to history. A soul full of stories no one else remembered. He deleted the message. When Arya woke up, Leo told her everything. "They know we're here," he said, "but I'm not giving you up." Arya's eyes welled with tears. "Even if it means they'll come for you too?" He smiled. "Let them come." Arya placed her hand over his. "Then I'll show you the place they fear. The place where the first memory began." Leo nodded. "Let's find it together." And with that promise, they prepared for the journey that would change the stars forever. The ship floated in silence as it left Relo 7. Arya sat in the co-pilot seat, her eyes closed, hands resting on a glowing crystal placed between her palms. Leo guided the ship, but she was the one giving directions now, not through maps, but through memory. She spoke softly, like someone recalling a dream. "There is a place, a star forge. It holds the first memory. The ones who built me created it." Leo looked at her. "What is a star forge?" "A machine that holds history. Not made with tools, but with thought, with song, with light." Leo nodded, unsure he fully understood. But he trusted her. They flew for hours through deep space, past empty sectors and silent moons. No patrols, no signals. Just them and the stars. Then, as they reached an uncharted nebula, Araya opened her eyes. "It's here." The ship came out of warp in front of a massive structure floating in the shadow of a dead sun. It looked ancient. Metal towers rising, from a round base drifting slowly. It had no engines, no defenses. It simply existed. Leo stared. "It's beautiful. It remembers everything," Arya whispered. As they approached, the ship's systems started glowing softly. The controls moved without touch. The Starforge had noticed her. A docking tunnel extended automatically. They stepped out into the structure. Inside, it felt like walking into a dream. Walls shimmered with floating lights. Voices echoed, soft, distant, and full of emotion. It was not speech. It was memory. Leo walked beside Araya, both silent. She touched one wall, and it lit up with images. Planets spinning, oceans rising, cities made of crystal towers, and children with glowing hands playing under double suns. "This is what they destroyed," she said. "Whole civilizations lost to silence, and I carry their songs." Leo felt a strange pull inside his chest, like he was hearing something deep and important. Why would anyone destroy this? Arya's voice was calm. Because they feared what they couldn't control. They wanted power without remembering who they stepped on. As they moved deeper, they reached the forge's heart, a chamber filled with floating orbs of light. Each orb pulsed like a heartbeat. "They are memories," Arya explained. "If I join with the forge, I can release them across the stars. The truth will spread and they can't hide anymore." Leo looked alarmed. "Wait, you said join. What happens to you?" Arya smiled gently. "I was made for this, to be a bridge." "No," Leo said. "There has to be another way." Arya placed her hand on his. "If I don't do this, they will keep erasing, they will find others. And everything beautiful will disappear." Leo felt pain in his chest. "But you're not just a tool. You're alive. You're you." Arya stepped closer. "Then help me finish what I was born to do. Let me give this gift to the galaxy. Please." Leo didn't want to lose her, but he saw the peace in her eyes. She wasn't afraid. He nodded slowly. "Okay, I'll stay with you until the end." Arya placed the crystal in the center of the chamber. It floated up and spun faster. The lights around them grew brighter. Arya stepped into the circle of light. The forge began to sing, and the stars listened. The light inside the star forge grew brighter and brighter. Leo watched as Arya stood inside the circle of glowing orbs. Her body shone with soft colors, blues, purples, and golds, like the night sky. She was becoming one with the forge. "Leo," she said, her voice echoing like a song. "When I join the memory, I will change, but I will always be a part of you." Leo felt a mix of hope and sadness. He reached out, but the light kept them apart. "Don't be afraid," Arya said. "This is what I was made for. To share the truth that was lost." The orbs around her pulsed and images flowed into the forge's walls. Lost worlds, forgotten peoples, ancient songs, all spreading through space in waves of light. Suddenly the forge sent out a strong pulse, a message carried by stars to every corner of the galaxy. Leo felt the power deep inside his chest, as if he shared Arya's new strength. Then as the light faded, Arya's form became smaller and smaller until she was no more. Leo was alone, but the forge hummed softly, alive with her spirit. He stayed there for a long time, feeling the silence. When he finally returned to the scout ship, he carried with him a small glowing crystal, Arya's last gift. Back on the outpost station where it all began, Leo showed the crystal to the leaders and scientists. "This," he said, "is proof. Arya was more than a lonely girl. She was the keeper of memory." The galaxy listened. News spread quickly. The lonely alien girl who no one wanted to love became a symbol of hope. Stories told of her bravery and sacrifice. People looked at the stars differently, remembering lost histories and forgotten friends. And Leo? He became known as the human, who believed in her, the one who remembered. Sometimes when he looked at the night sky, he thought he saw a faint glow, a soft smile shining from the stars, and he knew that Arya was still there, watching, listening, and guiding the galaxy toward a brighter future.